Chapter 349, False Accusation. Dark Angel Kurisu. In but a breath's time, a great number of cultivators descended upon the courtyard. With swift steps, they surged forward, their voices filled with urgency and anger. Junior Suzitai, are you unharmed? Who dared to lay hands upon you? Speak, and I will tear them apart. To think someone would dare to have ill thoughts about Junior Sister Zitai, he must be courting death. These were the voices of cultivators in the spiritual ocean tier, and even a few from the spiritual pedestal tier, whose presence commanded respect. There were some among them who had reached the flower blossom tier and beyond. Such was the influence of Ao Zitai, a woman of great beauty and considerable cultivation, that even those in seclusion would rush to her aid upon hearing her cry. Indeed, Ao Zitai's popularity was no surprise. Her beauty was unparalleled, and her cultivation even more so. The allure of such a woman could turn even the most seasoned warriors into fools. With a single call, they were all at her beck and call. The once proud and aloof expression Ao Zitai wore vanished as she fell to the ground, her face now streaked with tears. She sobbed uncontrollably, her voice quivering as she spoke. They tried to violate me. They forced themselves upon me. Woo, I can't go on living. The crowd's fury ignited like a blazing fire. Their gazes turned murderous as they glared at Ling Han and Yu Kaiyu, their eyes filled with venom. It seemed as though they wished nothing more than to tear the two men to pieces. However, not all were so quick to be swayed by Ao Zitai's act. One man spoke, his voice laden with doubt. Could it be? In such a place, under the watchful eyes of the Winter Moon sect, could this truly happen? Impossible? Or do you doubt Junior Sister Zitai's words? Another man shouted, his voice cutting through the confusion. Perhaps these two scoundrels were emboldened by their lust and decided to force themselves upon her. Kill them! The cry rang out from many in the crowd, their eyes red with anger. Yuokaiyu, shaken but calm, stood up, his voice cutting through the heated shouts. Senior and junior brothers, are you truly so blinded by rage? Do you not even care for the truth? A murmur ran through the crowd. Some nodded, for Yuokaiyu was not just any disciple, he was the great-grandson of the Grand Elder Yue. If it was truly Yue Kaiyu who had committed such an act, then it was not beyond the realm of possibility that the Yu clan, with all its power, could find a way to smooth things over, even offering a marriage between Yue Kaiyu and Ao Zitai as recompense. As that thought settled into their minds, a chill swept through many of them. They had arrived just in time. Yet, despite their reservations, the majority of the crowd had been swept away by Ao Zitai's act and their own anger. Even those who remained composed were few in number, easily drowned out by the uproar. Seize them both. Let them face the consequences of their actions according to the sect's laws, came the cry, and one by one the cultivators leapt into action, their movements swift and sure. We can spare Yue Kaiyu, but Hanlin must die. What a wretched fool to dare to violate Junior Sister Ao Zitai. That's right, kill him, the crowd roared with bloodlust. As expected, Ao Zitai had planned her scheme well. She knew how to manipulate their emotions, how to turn admiration into rage. Beauty, after all, was a powerful weapon. Ling Han shook his head. In the face of such hot-headed youths, beauty could indeed blind their eyes. One clever trick, and they became as rash as beasts, unable to see the truth for what it was. Even if they were sold, they would be happily counting the coins for their buyer. It was not entirely their fault. They had always admired Ao Zitai, worshipped her even, and now, upon hearing that their goddess had been defiled, their anger had clouded their judgment. In such a state, it was only natural for reason to take flight. Ling Han scoffed lightly. Bunch of idiots! His words were laced with the intent of a heaven-tier cultivator. While not forceful, they resonated within their minds, striking their consciousness directly. In that instant, the cultivators froze, their anger evaporating as the haze lifted from their minds. Something was amiss. The situation, though fueled by Ao Zitai's claim, didn't add up. If Yu Kaiyu had truly intended to harm her, why drag Ling Han into it? Ling Han gestured for Yu Kaiyu to join him and whispered, "Examine her clothes closely." With a swift motion, Ling Han tore at Yu Kaiyu's sleeve. If they had been torn by another, they should look like this, he said, holding up the torn fabric. Then, with a subtle smile, he continued, but Junior Sister Ao's clothes. He paused dramatically. Senior brother Yo, tear your own sleeve. Yuokaiyu understood at once and, with a quick rip, tore his other sleeve. This time, the tear was distinct, the angle and force clearly different. As the truth began to sink in, the crowd's focus shifted. Their suspicions were no longer hidden behind the fog of their emotions. How is it possible for them to have assaulted her here? One voice questioned. This place is under the strictest of surveillance from the sect. How could such a thing happen without detection? Linghan spoke, his voice cold and certain. It's not possible, is it? Then why do you continue to believe her lies? Do you not trust them? Another voice from the crowd challenged. Surely, for the sake of escaping punishment, they would fabricate a countercharge. Linghan's eyes swept over the gathered crowd, his voice booming, "Those who attempt to stop me will regret it." With a single palm strike, he sent those who dared challenge him flying through the air. Then, with a calculated step, he moved forward, seizing one of the men who had been fanning the flames of the false accusation. Senior Brother Yue, do you recognize this man? Linghan asked as he held the man firmly. Yu frowned, his eyes scanning the man. He should be one of Attendant Ao's sons, he mused, but as for his name, it's unclear. Linghan tossed the man aside with contempt. Everyone, take a good look. This man is clearly one of Ao Zitai's allies, sent here to incite chaos. The crowd fell silent. Their earlier rage had been doused, their minds clear once more. They were not fools. Ao Zitai could deceive them with her beauty, but the truth could not be concealed forever. Ao Zitai's face contorted with fury. Don't listen to their nonsense. They tried to molest me, and now they seek to slander my name, she screamed, her voice shrill with desperation. Linghan's gaze turned icy. He approached her, his shadow looming over her. You framed both myself and Senior Brother Yue. Does that not deserve some form of retribution? His voice was a chilling whisper as his hand reached out to seize her. Stop! Ao Zitai cried out, but it was too late. With a flash of movement, Linghan appeared behind her, his grip swift and unyielding. Ao Zitai, realizing her escape was futile, attempted to flee into the crowd, but Linghan's speed was unmatched, and with a deft motion, he captured her once more. You'll pay for your deception, Linghan said coldly, his voice filled with the weight of finality. Chapter 350, Killed with a Single Slash. Who is this man? How could he possess such overwhelming strength? One strike was enough to send 7 martial artists of the spiritual ocean tier flying, and Senior Brother Liu is in the 6th layer of the spiritual ocean tier. Hiss! When did such a monster emerge from our sect? Hey, you don't know yet, do you? He's one of the newly accepted disciples this year. He entered our sect just the day before, and today he clinched first place in the entrance trials. What? Even with the 7 sons of the Ao family participating, he still managed to claim first. What kind of news is this? The 7 sons of the Ao family, along with Senior Brother Yue, were all defeated by him. Ah, now I understand. No wonder Ao Zitai was putting on such an act. The whispers rippled through the crowd as clarity dawned on them. It became clear that Linghan's feat was no mere coincidence. His overwhelming victory had shattered expectations. Han Lin, release junior sister Zitai and let us settle this with reason, someone urged, seeking Linghan's mercy. Linghan's expression remained calm, his voice light as he replied, When you all barged in earlier, you were fierce as tigers, as though you intended to beat me to death. Now, I'm supposed to be scared. The group was struck silent, realizing that none of them had the strength to threaten Linghan. Even with Ao Zitai in his grip, he could say anything without consequence. Junior Brother Han, I understand your displeasure, but junior sister Zitai is Attendant Ao's beloved daughter and the great-granddaughter of Grand Elder Ao, someone reminded, trying to reason with Linghan. Linghan's laugh was soft yet sharp. Senior Brother Yue is also Yue Zhenshan, the son of Attendant Yue and the great-grandson of Grand Elder Yu. Yet this woman set him up without hesitation. If she shows no respect to him, why should he show any to her? Yuokai's eyes widened in shock. Why was he being dragged into this? Yet, after a moment's thought, he said nothing to counter Linghan's words. Ao Zitai's actions had disgusted him, and he felt a desire to see her suffer. Junior Brother Han, you are undeniably strong, and no one here may match you in the spiritual ocean tier, but there are many of us here. We have the advantage in numbers. Why don't you release junior sister Zitai first? The sect will undoubtedly give you justice. Another voice came. Ling Han turned to Yokai Yu, his eyes cold as he asked, Senior Brother Yue, if the accusation of attempted molestation and rape were true, what would happen to us? Yokai Yu pondered briefly before responding. In martial arts, there are 3 taboos: defying one's parents, betraying one's master, and committing a sexual offense. Our Winter Moon sect upholds these taboos strictly. If the accusation were proven true, the punishment would be execution. Ling Han's eyes narrowed, his tone icy as he replied, I am a man of respect. If you show me respect, I will return it, but I remember my grudges. Anyone who wrongs me will be repaid in full. If you wish for my death, why should I spare you? His words were directed at Ao Zitai. Ao Zitai trembled at his words, her voice quivering as she said, Do you really dare to kill me? Junior Brother Han, don't be rash. This is just speculation. Yokai Yu began to intercede, but his words were cut short. With a swift movement, Ling Han snatched a sword from someone nearby. With a delicate slice, blood poured from Ao Zitai's throat. Her eyes widened in disbelief, her hand clutching her neck in vain, unable to stop the flow of blood. Had she really died just like that? She had only come to defend her brothers, hoping to use her influence to paint Ling Han as a villain who would assault women. Once the public believed her lies, the Winter Moon sect would destroy him, cripple his cultivation, and expel him from the sect. But she had not anticipated Ling Han's decisiveness. He killed her with a single slash. Ao Zitai was from the Ao clan. Why would Ling Han dare to strike her down? She never got to know the answer. As her life left her, she fell to the ground with a dull thud, her once beautiful face now pressed into the dirt. Hiss. Sharp breaths of shock echoed around the room as the onlookers stared at Ling Han with rage in their eyes. Do you wish to fight? Ling Han asked, his voice calm, but his anger seething. His fury was not just for Ao Zitai, but for the disruption she had caused. He had been on the verge of uncovering information about his mother, only to be interrupted by Ao Zitai. His mother was imprisoned because of the Ao clan, and now Ao Zitai was attempting to frame him. His killing intent surged. Ling Han had entered the Winter Moon sect to learn of his mother's whereabouts and to obtain the Thunder Battle armor. But he would never bow to humiliation. His pride was unyielding. He had been the Alchemy Emperor in his past life, and he would not bend now. If necessary, he would forgo the Thunder Battle armor, but he would grow stronger, crushing the Winter Moon sect and rescuing his mother. His plans might take time, but he would not be deterred. Hanlin. Dozens of voices roared, eyes bloodshot with anger. The room erupted in killing intent. Ao Zitai's death had enraged them, and they were bent on destroying Ling Han. Yokai Yu, still in shock, wiped the cold sweat from his brow. Ling Han had just killed Ao Zitai with a single stroke. What could be done now? The Ao clan would never let this slide, but Yokai Yu quickly made a decision. He would protect Ling Han. The Yu and Ao clans had once been close, but after the events surrounding Yue Hongchang, their relationship soured. Now they were bitter rivals, each clan striving for supremacy. The Ao clan had the upper hand, with the 7 sons stronger than Yokai Yu. But now, Ling Han had arrived, a man whose strength defied logic. Yokai Yu knew this was his chance. By allying with Ling Han, he could shift the balance of power. Ling Han's actions had made him a mortal enemy of the Ao clan, but it also presented an opportunity for the Yue clan. This could be the turning point in the struggle between the two factions.